The world was in shock when Angelina Jolie revealed that she underwent a preventative double mastectomy. Now, she did it after learning she carries the breast cancer gene, and in an interview with the New York Times, she said doctors told her she had an 87% risk of developing breast cancer and a 50% risk of developing ovarian cancer. But what would happen if she had been misdiagnosed by doctors, much like talk show host Montel Williams?
With 29 palms, go to a doctor. 8 hours later, I'm in surgery. He performed a double mastectomy. This doctor thought I had male breast cancer.
So as the story goes, 3 weeks later, Montel discovers he was misdiagnosed, but he had to live with the pain, and this happened when he was 19. And it happens a lot, and joining us to talk about what you should do if you are ever misdiagnosed is Bobbie Seller of Seller Law PA. Welcome back, Bobbie.
Good morning, Michelle.
So this is more common than we may think, right?
This happens to tens of thousands of Americans every year. They are diagnosed or misdiagnosed, and then it results in a terminally ill disease like cancer.
So is there anything we can do to prevent a misdiagnosis?
My recommendation would always be to get a second opinion, but if you are diagnosed and it's a misdiagnosis which causes some kind of harm or injury, then I would definitely file a claim or speak with an attorney to file a claim against that medical provider that gave you that bad advice.
And you say there's a small window for when you can take action, right? You can't just wait for years and years?
Correct. There's usually, as a general rule, about 2 years to file a claim, depending on which state you're in. So if it's Montel Williams and something happens after the fact, you want to be able to take advantage of that situation. With Angelina Jolie, you have a situation where it's a high-profile celebrity who had up to a 90% chance of being diagnosed with cancer, which, by the way, runs in her family.
Right, exactly, her mother.
So I believe she did everything possible to take preventative measures to ensure the survival of her family and
that's a little different than saying you have this disease now versus you could have it. So it was her choice.
That's correct. It was her choice. But if something would have went terribly wrong during that procedure and it was found out that her initial doctor gave her the wrong statistics, he could have been held liable for that information.
So always seek out the advice of an attorney, someone who does this for a living. Don't try to go it alone.
Absolutely. The bottom line is that if somebody does you wrong in any way, you should seek some legal advice.
And we've been taking questions all week from viewers. They were sending them to questions@sellerlaw.com. And one of them was about child custody. And so this person had a problem where they were meant to have their child on a specific weekend. The ex-wife decided to throw a birthday party for the kid. And he's saying, this is my weekend. I don't want to bring her to your party. Is he obligated to do that?
Right. So the answer is it depends on what the written agreement states. According to these facts, he did not have to bring the child to the party. But the more important question is, why do these parents pin their children against each other?
Right. That's what I was thinking.
Right. And they do that. What they don't realize is that their children are very vulnerable, especially during this time. So the child's made up of the mother and father. So when you put down the other spouse, it really affects the child's self-confidence and derails them to move forward in a confident manner.
So you may have your own legal questions, and if you do, whether it's personal injury, foreclosure, bankruptcy, anything, you can send them to us, email them to questions@sellerlaw.com, or you can text Bobbie at 22333 with your question and use the keyword seller. Thank you so much.
Thank you.